willing to believe is that these two are useful idiots.
Right.
They are just pawns in a very large, very elaborate system that was designed, one, to do money laundering, and there's clear evidence of money laundering, an intent by someone or someones to have this be an example set so that regulators could come in and punish the industry.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
So the whole foundation of what crypto is, it's supposed to be a distributed ledger that is across the system. I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem. You don't need trust.
Maybe you're going to have to give some ownership. Maybe you'll have to give 50% of your ownership to the 20 banks that are now, part of this. I mean, there are other ways to build incentive systems. Maybe you put a native token in there, and you give them the native token. So there may be other incentive ways to beat the current monopolist. But I, having been around commercial banks for a long time, they really are looking for ways to replace their aggregators in their back office, whether it's clearing, settlement, exchanges, credit agencies. But they are deeply understanding, because they are pretty ambitious and very good at making money as well. They deeply understand that every idea that's pitched to them is somebody who currently is small but wants to get big and gain market power. So they're also always thinking about how to ensure that there's a check to slow down your startup from gaining market power 5, 10, and 15 years from now. They don't want you to be the next clearinghouse like the Chicago Mercantile Exchange or Intercontinental Exchange. They don't want you to be the next central node of market power.
It's at the end, what the fourth industrial revolution will lead to is a fusion of our physical, our digital, and our biological identities.
Interfaces, replacing organic hands with bionic hands, adding to the body a second immune system, which is not organic but an inorganic immune system, made up of millions of tiny nanorobots inside your body. And if we hack the brain, and if we understand how billions of neurons create subjective experiences.
Third way we think CBDC can improve financial inclusion is through what we call programmability. That is, CBDC can allow government agencies and private sector players to program, to create smart contract, to allow targeted policy functions. For example, welfare payment. For example, consumption coupon. For example, food stamp. By programming CBDC, those money can be precisely targeted for what kind of people can own and what kind of use this money can be utilized. For example, for food. So this potential programmability can help government agencies to precisely target their support to those people who need support. So that way can also improve financial inclusion.
give a type of money that can only be spent for a specific number of reasons. And some worry about that state control or whatever, but like in this particular narrow use case, you want to give checks to individuals to get the economy moving again. Yeah. So if you think of programmable money that expires if you don't spend it.
Uber, Bitcoin, self-driving cars. Combine those three together and you have the self-owning taxi. A car that is a corporation that owns itself, pays for the car lease, the car insurance, and the gasoline from the revenues it makes, giving passengers a ride, and there's not a single human involved in that matter.
Something else going on here. Nothing to do with Donald Trump. We're in the middle of what I call, other people call, the fourth industrial revolution. Is there going to be middle class where, Moore's law, the IT, the way we're walking, artificial intelligence? Look what's happened to all the retail jobs that got lost because of Amazon. Now people go to Amazon, and so all across the country, a couple 100,000 people lost their jobs. And people are worried. Truck drivers I talked to are saying, well, they're going to automate trucking. I know, and I'm not going to have a job. So we are very eager to hear from you. The fourth industrial revolution has one big challenge. It is the holding out of the middle class, which is a pillar of our democracies. So, topic, and Dr. Schwab, I'm flattered you'd asked me to keynote. There's an expression in my old neighborhood back in the United States. This may be above my pay grade. It's not above yours, though. You've written extensively on the topic that you've asked me to speak to, mastering the fourth industrial revolution. This fora defines that as change fueled by a digital revolution.
I'm convinced that we will destroy, unfortunately, a lot of employment. Just think of self-guided cars and all the drivers losing their jobs. Let's look at the bank employees and so on.
If you're left behind, you're facing something far worse, which is to be completely irrelevant. They won't even need you as a serf or as a slave.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols? Who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Inform your friends and family and spread all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book. The New World Order book is going to show you how the world really works. And it's definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep, especially in the times that we're in right now. I told you at the beginning of the year, in the first quarter of 2022, we was going to have an event that was going to bring us down. And then also in the fourth quarter, we would have an event that would bring us down. That's exactly what happened. And now I'm going to tell you, in the first quarter, we're going to have an event that's going to break us down in 2023. And then also in the fourth quarter of 2023, we're going to have another main event. Now, of course, guys, the markets are still going to be pumping and dumping until they get ready to pull the full rug. But I'll let you know when that's about to happen. Now, also, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 Kids books. It's time to get re-educated. And also, much love to those who donate to the Cash Shop and Patreon. And in my Patreon, I keep you up to date with the New World Order events. Also, I give you the New World Order cryptos in the Patreon. Of course, you have to do your own research. But this next bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure that you have the cryptos that have utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And right now we have Bitcoin and cryptos flat. Bitcoin and Ethereum made a slight move. But guys, don't forget CME opens tonight and we know it's going to move the market. And then of course, once the stock market opens, it's going to move the market again. And guys, listening to those videos, you should be able to connect the dots. I know it's Sunday. A lot of people are distracted with sports or other things. But those videos should make you go inside the lab. Because while you're distracting, they are building. And guys, those who've been with me from the beginning, that's the reason why I've mapped it out for you. Put the puzzle together where you don't have to do a lot of work. That's the reason why I wrote the New World Order book, so therefore you can wake up out of your sleep. But we had Mark Yusko speaking about the bank man. And guys, we knew he was an NWO puppet. We just didn't know how deep it was. But we know Mark Yusko is only going to give us half the truth. Sam Bankman-Fried was testing out the fourth industrial revolution, where they take all these derivatives and put them on blockchain. And you guys know I've already broke it down in a video. But then now we have FTX Ledger X for sale. And we know the NWO fingerprints were all over Ledger X. As the CFTC chair stated, he was in constant meetings with the bank man when it came to the derivatives platform. Guys, is going to change the globe. And those who understand derivatives, this $100 trillion market, those who also understand LIBOR and what happened in LIBOR, those who have my book understand also, but this is so important. You're talking about the whole economy being tokenized and put on blockchain. And we know that's what the NWO wants, because blockchain gives them what? The all-seeing eye. Now, this week, guys, we should be getting a decent pump this week as long as we can keep the yield rates as low as they are and the dollar is pulling back. So do not forget to pay attention to the actual indicators. We know we have open interest. So basically, you have the yield rates, which were rising, but they pulled them back on Friday. We have volume, we have Tether, we have USDC, and then we have the Fed. The Fed repo is still over $2 trillion. We know they're going to be raising rates again December 14th. And guys, they've set up so many distractions. Nobody talked about the Fed last week due to Sam Bankman-Fried. And for the past 6 months, the Fed has been a topic of discussion. Now, when they bring up a big distraction, nobody's talking. And we know our media is controlled. They control what you see and what you hear. But guys, now we have Elon Musk buying Twitter, another distraction, releasing information. We have Trump. We have Kanye running for president. We have war. We have energy crisis, water crisis, food crisis. And now that it's getting cold, we're going to have weather crisis. So the NWO has so many distractions. But the big one I told you about, guys, from the beginning of the year was the debt ceiling. That is going to be so important, guys, because we know the government can shut down. And then, guys, don't forget about Grayscale. We're slightly up to about $15.3 billion. And don't forget about the big discount. Remember, what can save them is that Bitcoin ETF. We know regulation is right around the corner, so we know that Bitcoin ETF is right around the corner. Now, guys, getting over into a little crypto news. We have SpaceX wins another approval from the FCC to deploy 7,500 Starlink satellites. And guys, we know they're building Skynet right in front of the masses' eyes. And we know everything Elon is working on is for the fourth industrial revolution. But unfortunately, even though all this technology of information is out, everything that Elon is working on is all about the fourth industrial revolution. But we know the masses are asleep and also stay distracted. But especially the millennials and Generation Z, which are the targets of the fourth industrial revolution. Whether robots, algorithms, and drones take over the economy, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. Get downloaded and be able to be controlled through the cloud. And remember, the crypto teacher told you because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. But guys, all I have for you. Don't forget about the books, Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids' books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread it everywhere. We have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the CRA, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.